Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome all to today's reading from Brilliant as the Sun, retelling of Srimad Bhagavatam. We're reading from Canto 6, Divine Protection, and we're going to begin chapter 3 today. Yamaraja instructs his messengers. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim Yad kripa tamham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tatsat. Parikshit peered through the darkness at the shadowy forms of the ascetics who sat in complete silence, listening to Shukadev. Would they think that the sage, out of his Vaishnava sentiments, might have exaggerated the power of holy name? He hoped not. Ajamil's story was so inspiring, the king prayed that he too could call on Krishna's name at his fast approaching final moment. He looked back toward Shukadev, curious to learn more about the wondrous incident of the Yamaduta's defeat at Vishnuduta's hands. Verse 1, Parikshit said, "My lord, Yamaraj is the supreme judge of all living beings. What did he say when his servants told him they were foiled in executing his order?" Verse 2, "O great sage, I fear people will doubt the veracity of this history. After all, it is unheard of that anyone has ever baffled Yamaraj's order. Only you can eradicate such a doubt." Verse 3, Shukadev said, "When the Yamadutas were confounded by the Vishnudutas, they returned to Samyamani to report to their master. Listen to what happened next. The huge and imposing form of Yamaraj resembled a storm cloud with fierce eyes like two blazing meteorites. In his hand he held a great black staff encrusted with gleaming emeralds and rubies. There were long rows of Yamadutas waiting to present their trembling prisoners to him for judgment. 3 empty-handed Yamadutas stood waiting at the back of the hall. They could hear their master's gruff voice bark out of the punishments. "Take him to Maharorava. Krimi Bhojan, take him away." The terrified prisoners wailed as Yamadutas roughly dragged them off to receive their sentences. Finally, no one remained to be judged. Yamaduta noticed that 3 Yamadutas lingering at the back, scowling and huffing. "Come forward," he ordered. Verse 4, the 3 of them stormed toward the throne. Feeling agitated, they neither bowed nor made any reverential greeting. One of them said, "Lord, how many controllers or rulers are there in the material world? Is your authority over the dead absolute or not?" "Why do you ask?" Verse 5, "Because," said a second Yamaduta, "if there is more than one authority, there will be chaos. Their contradictory judgments will neutralize each other and no one will get punished or rewarded. Either that or everyone will be both punished and rewarded." "There are many gods," said Yamaraj. Verses 6 to 9, "One of them must be supreme," exclaimed the third Yamaduta. We thought you were that supreme judge with jurisdiction over even the gods. We believed you were the ultimate authority over everyone. Now we see that your order is ineffectual." Yamaraj scowled. "Fools, watch your tongues." The Yamadutas huddled together fearfully. Yamaraj softened. These were his loyal servants. Sometimes something had obviously upset them. "What has happened?" he asked. The first Yamaduta said, "4 wonderful beings have transgressed your order. We had captured that most sinful Ajamil and were about to drag him to hell when 4 beautiful and perfect beings appeared and cut our ropes. Do you know why?" Verse 10, the second Yamaduta said, "As we were yanking him out of his body, Ajamil uttered the name Narayan. Immediately those 4 effulgent personalities arrived and reassured him, saying, 'Do not fear, do not fear.'" Who were they? The Yamadutas looked expectantly at their master, hoping he would issue orders for them to capture the Vishnudutas and bring them to him. Verse 11, Yamaraja's face broke into a wide smile. He spoke kindly to the Yamadutas. "Hearing the holy name of Narayan from your lips, I am remembering my Lord's lotus feet. I am most pleased The Yamadutas looked at each other in confusion. Why was he happy? His order had been foiled because of Narayan. Verses 12 and 13. Noting their bewilderment, Yamaraj laughed, My dear servants, although you have accepted me as a supreme, Lord Narayan is far greater than either me or any other god, including Indra and Chandra. Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva are just his partial expansions. As a cloth is made from longitudinal and lateral threads, he makes up the entire material world. His instructions as the Vedic injunctions control all creatures as a rope through its nose controls a bull. Out of fear of him, everyone performs their respective duties. One of the Yamdutas said, if the Vedic injunctions come from him, why did he stop us from bringing the sinful Ajamil here for punishment? Verses 14 and 15, Yamaraj shrugged. Who knows, although I and the other celestials are in the mode of goodness, we still cannot understand the Supreme's activities. Neither you nor anyone else will ever be able to understand by speculation. Why not? Asked Yamaduta. Verses 16 and 17. Can your nose see your eyes? Of course not, replied the Yamaduta. Can your hands or feet see your eyes? No. What are you saying, my lord? Just as your bodily limbs cannot see your eyes, no one can see Narayan. Although he is the hearts giving us direction, neither sensual perception nor mental speculation can enable us to understand him or why he does something. We must simply accept that he can do whatever he wants and he does not have to answer to anybody. He is the master of everyone and everything, including the illusory energy. The Yamadutas toyed with their robes. They still felt humiliated by their defeat and longed to see their subjugators punished. One of them snorted, I accept you cannot tell us why Narayan interfered, but as you know by a glance, we are here extremely strong. Why could we not stand up to the Narayan's messengers? Yamaraj sat back with a smile. Yes, the Vishnudutas, not only do they resemble Narayan physically, but they are almost as powerful as him. They wander within the world with full independence. Neither I nor you have any power over them. We have never encountered them before. No one, not even the gods, have interfered with us. Verse 18. That's true, but you need to understand the Vishnudutas are greater than the gods. Indeed, the gods worship them, for they possess the same wonderful bodily features as Vishnu. Although they rarely show themselves, they are always vigilant to protect Narayan's devotee from any danger, even from my jurisdiction. The Yamdutas crossed their arms and grumbled. One of them said, I still do not understand why they protected someone who had rejected all religious principles. Okay, we'll continue from here onwards next time. Thank you for joining. Hari Om Tat Sat. Jai Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.